Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 27th episode of By the Drip. This podcast is about coffee, entrepreneurship, and the amazing people we meet through the story of coffee. I'm your host, David Crosby, founder of Rosso Coffee Roasters, and I'm joined by my co-host, Cole Torode, World Barista Champion finalist. And today we're thrilled to have Nelson Fu, the 2024 Canadian Barista Champion, on the show. Nelson takes us through his journey into the world of specialty coffee, sharing his experiences in barista competitions, and makes an interesting parallel between specialty coffee and fine dining. We dive into his early competition days, the lessons learned, and the challenges he faced. In this episode, Nelson and Cole reflect on their competition experience from the Canadian Nationals to the World Championships. They discuss the evolution of these competitions, the importance of practice, and how innovation plays a key role in coffee, wine, and in the cocktail industry. Nelson also opens up about his mindset during the World Barista Championship and the significance of storytelling and community in the coffee industry. And don't forget, our podcast is now on YouTube, so you can find us at By the Drip, where we also review our weekly newsletter, share coffee competition reaction videos, and much more. All right, let's get to the conversation with our friend Nelson Fu. Boys, we're back. I got my now new full-time co-host, Cole Torode, with us.
Woo!
And our super special guest this week is Nelson Fu, the current Canadian Barista Champion.
Wow.
Nelson, thanks for joining us, buddy.
No problem.
I want to go back to the very beginning of your coffee career. How did you get into specialty coffee?
All the way back.
All the way back, old school here.
Oh, shit. Let's see.
How long have you been in specialty coffee, Nelson? Or how long have you been in coffee?
In coffee? Since I joined Rosso. 2015. Specialty coffee,
Wow.
I guess. I was at Starbucks, as we all were.
That's not true. I didn't work at Starbucks.
Well,
Well, had a couple vanilla lattes in my day, though.
Mocha. You like the mocha.
Yeah, I did like the mocha.
Okay, cut to the chase. Nelson, hit us with your origin story here. Come on.
all right, the lore. 2015, probably October. Joined Rosso. And here we are.
All right, and thanks for tuning in, everyone.
And,
That was
That's
great
That's
episode.
the full thing. Great episode. So 2015, Nelson, you joined Rosso. Why did you join Rosso? Why did you want to get a job as a
So 2015, I was still in between jobs. Not much going on. A lot of volunteer work, but nothing's really hitting, you know? So I've always liked coffee. I didn't really like drinking coffee, but I liked the idea of coffee in the cafes and stuff like that. I think back in those days, cafes were still like mystical and cool. Like you were seeing it as like, I think still kind of new to North America, but kind of settling in at the same time.
Okay.
So I didn't know there was specialty coffee. It's just coffee, right?
It's just coffee, man.
It's just coffee. But I did know from just tasting like Tim Hortons or like Folgers, there would be a difference, right? So I would go to Starbucks, but I wouldn't get coffee. I would get chai lattes or some frappuccinos, but they would taste different than because of all the sugar. Now that I know, but like the coffee itself would actually taste different. I didn't start drinking coffee until university, and there's a lot of Timmy's, but a lot of Starbucks as well. And I was interested in the difference between the two, because you know, like most of my friends would be like, "Oh, it's just coffee. It just one costs more," but that's I guess sensory experience got me curious. So if I ever didn't have a job, I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I'd look into coffee. And I didn't have a job. So I was just looking to fill some years until I figured my life out, I guess.
And here you are 8 years later.
Here I am. But I also...
have you figured your life out?
No.
This is an intervention, actually.
But why I applied at Rosso was I saw it was just the end of the prairie competition that year, 2015. So that would have been September. And it was like, I saw an article. I said, local man is going to Worlds or whatever. It's like, what does that mean? So I looked up all the companies that competed, top 3. And I went around with my cover letter and my resume.
And we were the suckers that hired you? Is that what you're saying?
We were the suckers. That's right.
I see.
No, I had an interview at some other places, and vibes weren't right. I walked into Ramsey for my interview, and I thought I knew everything. Like, I thought, oh yeah, it's coffee. I drink a latte every day, whatever. I get a cappuccino, Aricha Natural. Holy shit. Life-changing, you would say. Yeah, that's when everyone was still in the cafe. So during my interview, Dave would be in the corner, Cole's in the other corner.
Right, we didn't have an office at that time. We're working out of the cafes, jumping behind the bar, helping out where and if we can.
Yeah. So my interview was right in the middle. Got that cappuccino. And I think it was the week after. I was like, oh yeah, I'll come down. This is going to be sick. Then I didn't make coffee for, 3 months? I thought I would get fired because all I did was stand around. I wasn't allowed to make coffee, so all I do was breakfast sandwiches and the till.
And Pokemon Go. Right. I remember when you joined us, you were playing a lot of Pokemon Go on shift. I didn't think it was going to work out for you.
Yeah, that was the next year, though.
Was it the next year? I thought it was when you joined.
That was the next year, yeah.
Okay.
I had to play it cool the first year.
Right. Ramsey, that cafe was a Pokemon Go gym.
It was a stop, yeah. A Poke stop.
Yeah.
I was the gym leader.
In Pokemon Go folklore. Nelson was the gym leader because he works there.
You guys are losers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get hired as a barista. And when did you do your first competition? What got you into competition? And when
I actually joined because of the competitions. So I saw the Prairie competition. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Because I still thought coffee was that mystical, cool thing to do. I was like, oh, coffee competitions, that's actually the coolest thing possible right now. But also kind of a competitive guy. So I'm thinking, how hard, what is this? What are we doing here? It can't be that hard. You just make coffee. It's hard, guys. It's a hard thing to do.
It's hard. He finally admits 8 years into it. It's hard.
That's right. But yeah, I thought it was cool. So then I joined immediately because I wanted to do this. And then that year there was that break where there was no competitions for 2016. Mm-hmm. And the first competition would have been 2017 qualifiers in Edmonton at Transcend.
Did you do an in-house competition?
Yeah.
You competed in-house. There's maybe 4 or 5 people at the time that wanted to compete.
That's right. And I beat them.
Well, yeah, if you competed in the regional qualifier.
Couldn't get Cole though. Couldn't get that one done.
No. But I still competed. I still did the in-house. Still participated. Just swept the floor with you guys.
Yeah, we would hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so 2017 you go on. What's that, Dave?
I was going to ask a question, but you're cutting me off.
Go ahead.
What was it about coffee competitions that made you think they were so cool or interesting?
At first, I wanted to know what a competition coffee is, like what makes it special. Fun fact, it's just rare. It's just not as accessible. But during those days, we were competing with coffee off the shelf, right? So that didn't really change my perspective until much later on. But I thought you as a barista could make the best coffee depending on whatever you're doing, which is true, but it's not like a life-changing experience compared to what you would do in the cafe. I think what I didn't understand was the service side, and I think a lot of people fell into the same hole, I guess, where they just focus on coffee quality, but it's really the whole experience. So that was a discovery early on. That I was like, oh, there's more to this than just being really good at coffee, and I think that's what made me stay. Because it's not enough to just make the best coffee, but you need the whole package.
So hospitality, like
Yeah,
connecting with regulars, the
yeah,
team
and like the full
on shift.
experience thing. And that's actually what kind of got me into fine dining.
Okay. Are you working part-time in fine dining or what?
No, just liking it.
So
Watch a lot of
tell
cooking
us
shows.
about that. What's the bridge? What's the bridge to fine dining? You're just interested in the hospitality and the service component?
Yeah, a lot of the discovery was like making parallels to other industries. Like they're not making life-changing chicken, it's just chicken. But a lot of it is the experience, how it's presented to you, like even talking about how it's prepared. That's out of the ordinary experience. And I tried to mirror that into the stuff I was doing.
Okay.
So what's like a
Interesting.
top restaurant? What's the best experience you've ever had?
Best experience, hard to say, but a lot of it is in Asia, right? The experience is part of the dining. And then some experiences in Europe were very interesting. So there was one restaurant I went to where the seating, you would never make eye contact with another table, just how the chairs are arranged and stuff like that. And then like explaining how the dish is prepared, I thought is just very cool. Because you can see, oh, it's chicken, sure. But this chicken was brined for 3 days, blah, 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 blah. And like that's the stuff that is interesting about coffee, but not communicated well in the industry, I think. Like we give them the facts, but then it's like, oh, what does it do? But in the restaurant experiences, you can ask those questions like, why did the chef decide to do this? Where did the chef train? And you get a better understanding of the approach. And I think we do these days. Coffee industry is doing a lot better job with that stuff. But we're pioneers in this industry still.
You're talking in cafe, in service level.
Yeah, or
talking
even
about those
on
details.
the bags, right?
Yeah, okay.
Like even for me, I can see a bag and say, "Oh, great, 1,900 meters." Okay, what does that mean? And without the context, it's kind of lost. Like, why is it even on the bag?
Yeah, it becomes distracting data piece that if you don't have the full picture,
Yeah.
then it doesn't add to the experience. So what do you do on a day-to-day basis to try to bridge your love and passion for fine dining and culinary into activation in the space of specialty coffee? How do you fuse or marry those two?
I think it started with connecting to coworkers because we're all trying to learn about coffee, and it's tough because back in those days, there's no YouTube or there's no Instagram Reels, there's no YouTube Shorts.
Right.
If you wanted the info, you would have to dig for it.
Right.
The coffee forums, like the 3 blog posts by whoever, and then asking Cole.
Who was also digging for it.
He's also digging for it, yeah.
For it.
So like getting that info and sharing it with coworkers, I think added to the learning, but also the experience and wanting to learn more.
Okay. Do you think having, like, let's zoom into the restaurant. We're talking about the chicken and it's a 3-day brine and, whatever the chef is doing. I assume the chicken is probably coming from a farm that's down the road, hypothetically down the road, however far that is.
Yeah.
Zooming out and zooming into coffee, our product is coming from a farm, but it's very, very, very far down the road, and we're, as an industry, a little more disconnected with it. Do you think fine dining has the advantage that product is produced, generally speaking, in a close proximity or nearby radius, and people can generally be more educated on how to speak to that chicken, to the beef, to the trout, to whatever you might be?
I think there's definitely advantages. Like, we all know what chicken is, but we all don't know what. Like, we all don't know what chorizo is, right? We still don't know what sidra is. Like, they just have new research. So there's definitely advantages. Chorizo, yeah. I know what chorizo is.
And it's good.
It's good.
It's good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like that general information piece, big advantage already, that people know what they're getting. And in coffee, we're still trying to explain, there's different varietals, actually, and they all don't taste the same. Right.
So how do you bridge that? Do you think there's a way to better break down?
I think it's slowly happening still. A lot of this is thanks to YouTube and social media. Like, I think people are doing an amazing job for the education piece. But then it's also like, how do we make people care about this stuff? I think that is the missing part currently. People just want good coffee. They don't necessarily want to search for Katura.
Do you think that's okay?
It's okay because our industry is still too young, or so young. Yeah, it's, I guess, hard to explain to why you should care. I don't even know why I should care. I just know different things taste different, and they're better and they're worse with different qualities. Like, I'm still struggling with processing. Which one's my favorite? I don't know.
I think in theory, too, we can deep dive into all food stuff, right? You want to talk about cows. There's different type of cows for different purposes. You want to talk about wine, beer, chocolate, whatever, all these things. You can kind of crack the lid open, and chicken. You can further educate on chicken. My favorite. I think coffee, I agree with you. I think it's just a very young industry. We got a lot of work to continue doing and emphasizing what points of the information do matter and what matter less. I think everything matters to some degree, but what matters less, and what do we put in the background and what do we put in the foreground when communicating to clients. So how do you bridge your fine dining into your barista competition preparations?
Oh, so many things.
3-day brine on that chicken.
Here's something I noticed in a lot of Asian restaurants. There's no talking. And it's just, they're listening to, I think this actually is not just Asian restaurants, but higher end restaurants. There's no distracting sounds. They're listening to the sizzle. They're chopping away. And I practiced that for my technical skills. I took that into my daily routine. Like the everything has a place, the mise en place, place. Everything has a place, and that's what the tech score sheet is. So like once I kind of tried to master the tech before I started incorporating like talking. We did that thing called heads up service where you should always have your head up. Like same thing in those kitchens. They're ready. whenever the chef says, hey, I need this, no problem.
Right.
So like just watching other people work, I would incorporate that into my own day-to-day. And then the sensory aspect where like they're focusing on, there's some dishes have 3 ingredients. You're like, oh my God, how did you figure this out? This experience is insane. Same thing with our coffee. Just making one flavor shine or something like that. Some aspect of that coffee and make it super good.
Well,
And
do we
then
want
that
super good, or are we looking for excellent?
we're looking for extraordinary, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
6, baby. Need that 6.
But yeah, like working that into some, I think that made an appearance in some barista routines, right? Where we're trying to especially for signature drinks, you either compliment or you highlight. You can't do both.
Right. Right.
So that was a lot of inspiration for the thinking on signature drinks and also just the technical skills. Pretty good.
Okay. I like the mise en place comment, and just for anybody listening, that's the idea of having everything prepped. So when you go to reach for it, you'll have whatever that item might be in a restaurant, like cutlery rolled in a napkin, maybe to bring somebody with your dish, or, the red biscuits and butter are there to go out with the plate, like whatever it might be. It's the idea of pre-prepping the service so the service can execute at a faster, more efficient degree and a higher quality potential. Is that kind of right, Nelson?
Yeah. And then that station management score.
And then you get that station management score.
That's essentially what it is, right?
Six on that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the fine dining. Let's talk about your first couple of comps. You've competed in a lot of different competitions here. Maybe you can list off your some of your wins, what you've done, and then maybe we can dive in deep at Worlds for the 2 that you've gone and done.
Oh boy. So first competition, disqualified at the regional level.
Zach.
I think I went 16:25.
That's a tough one. It was a good routine.
Yeah, it was a good one. We would have scored quite high.
Tell us a bit about it.
So this 2017, I used Don Howell via Sarchi.
Okay.
The red honey. Let's go. So I paralleled. It was the first year those trees produced cherries, and I paralleled that with my first barista competition. And coffee tasted good, so just needed to be on time. But that was a tough one. From going to thinking this is easy to being disqualified for time. So there you go.
Coming last place. That's okay.
Yeah, that's right. So that
year was tough. You DQ. This is regional, so top 4.
No, it was in top 8.
Oh, it's top 8 at this point.
Old school.
I have a feeling it might have been top 4, and there was 4 regions.
I don't know. I was disqualified.
Okay, yeah. Canada used to run 4 regionals,
right?
And I believe it used to be top 4 from each, but maybe that changed before 2017.
It might have been the change because there was the year break. I don't know.
Okay.
I just know we would have done quite well. 2018, we're going again. Got through. I think this year. So 2018, you guys actually went to Myanmar. So for regionals, I was kind of on my own. And I remember a very funny conversation for me, not so funny for you guys. But I think we were just arguing about what coffee to use.
I don't remember.
Yeah, like at this point, we just started buying La Palma.
Yeah, 2017 was the first year we used.
Yeah. So I didn't want to use La Palma because I thought I could do it without that kind of coffee. And Newsflash, you can't. But I thought I could do it without it because I thought I was the best barista, and the barista can change. They can make a life-changing coffee. But if you start with like a mid-quality product, you're gonna end up with a mid-quality product. You're not making a 5 into a 10. You're making the 5 into a 7 at best. So
Okay.
the conversation was Dave said, "Why don't we just use the best coffee we have?" And Cole said, "No, this coffee is a good coffee."
And I talked you down?
No, you talked me in.
Oh, I talked you into the coffee. I see.
Yeah,
I
it
see.
was Sans Sol Yellow Bourbon.
Oh no.
Santuarius. Oh, nice. That's a good coffee, man. Those are good
Good
coffees.
coffee.
It's a good coffee.
Traced back to the first Yellow Bourbon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But
Good memory. Shit, I don't remember that.
squeaked through regionals because you guys were in Myanmar, and that competition I learned a lot. Then we get to nationals. You guys come back. We get the best coffee available ever in my eyes, because since you guys were away, you let me pick what coffee to get for the both of us. And I asked for Finca Deborah. So then we went into nationals. Cole had La Palma and Finca Deborah, and I had Finca Deborah. I get 14th, and Cole wins. So another point to make here, the story is, it doesn't matter if you have the best coffee in the world, you still need to know what you're doing.
That's a good point. That's a great point, Nelson.
You can't just get in, buy your way in. So I remember back in those days, everyone thought, oh yeah, you get the best coffee, you're going to win, no problem. I was a victim of that mentality, and I have a 14th place to my name.
That's awesome. Did we used the same coffee also, right?
That's right. I used it for all three, and you used it for whatever course. I think espresso or
Yeah,
milk.
I think for espresso and signature.
That's right. You blended them.
Illumination, I think, from Deborah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I remember in the elevator, you said you're going to give up that year. And then you won. And you say, oh, fuck. We need coffee now.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I used it all in my presentation, and then we didn't have any coffee for Worlds.
Yeah, there was no more Deborah and maybe 3 or 4 kilos of La Palma left.
That's right.
Yeah.
My bad. Whoops.
Okay, so you learn from that year.
Yeah, big learning opportunity that year.
And what keeps you coming back? Like you kind of strike out twice here.
Well, big anime guy. So that was it's like one of those training arcs. It's like, fuck, come on. Couldn't win with the best coffee in the world. Couldn't win with, the skills you thought you had. So back to the training arc. Next year, so I think I was more inspired after your Amsterdam appearance. Because I was thinking at this point, if Cole can do it, fuck, anyone can do this.
Nice. It's a little demoralizing.
Also not true, guys.
That's good.
Cole's a machine. But I know Cole better than everybody else, right? I get to see behind the scenes, the peek behind the curtain. So I'm thinking, fuck, if Cole can do this, no problem. I can do this. So more inspired. Come back swinging 2019. Finals. Let's go. Yeah, 5th place. Still couldn't quite do it, but took all the learning opportunities and put them in. And then I think that 2019, we also did Coffee and Good Spirits. No. Yes, we did Coffee and Good Spirits and Latte Art. The double. Just me and Dave. Out east. So I got 2nd and 4th, I think. 2nd in Coffee and Good Spirits, 4th in Latte Art. That year. Made finals. Starting the hot streak. It was great.
And the reason doing all three? Was to just kind of get reps under your belt, or what was
Yeah.
the idea and
My
strategy?
mentality was, in order to catch Cole, who I think that year you did Coffee Masters. So I'm thinking, shit, there's more to this than I think. So then to catch Cole, I got to practice. You got to put in the reps. So I start branching out to these other competitions and just applying the same mentality. Like, you have to be disciplined. You need the coffee, but you also need the training. And squeezed out a second and then a fourth. Pretty good.
Those were both first attempts, right?
First attempts, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have no idea how to do those competitions.
Right.
New for us too.
Right.
Yeah. I think I squeezed the cup tasters in there somewhere too. In Edmonton.
Yeah, I think so.
2018?
18, maybe.
So then next nationals, feeling good, got second and fourth on the first go. There's some AeroPress scenarios coming in and out throughout the years. Those were just first round exits. Didn't quite get that competition. Then we signed up again for the gauntlet. We did all of them. Won latte art, won coffee and good spirits. Didn't make nationals for barista. Yeah, that year, that would have been Victoria, right? So got the double done and then ran out of gas for barista. I didn't have a cig drink until 2 weeks to the date, right? So kind of ran out of energy, but still got up there.
And then you deferred, or I guess you didn't defer. We
just decided to do one of those 2 wins. So in Toronto, we won on the same weekend. Friday, coffee and good spirits. Saturday, latte art. So then we're thinking Worlds would have been 2 months away in Warsaw.
For both of them.
For both of them, correct. And under the advisement of everybody, they said I should focus on one because we have no idea how to compete at the world level in both of these. So we went with coffee and good spirits because we felt better about that. For 2 months, we felt better for the practice. And then the next following month, the world shut down. So we had to wait.
So I gave you lots of time to practice.
Lots of time to practice. And we love practicing for coffee and good spirits.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cole and I are functioning alcoholics now.
Yeah. I would make them drink 1 cocktail every afternoon, or 2 cocktails, I guess, 1 set, until we got to go. But it was delayed for like 2 years.
Yeah, was it fall 2022 that you finally competed? Fall 2021?
It's like summer 2022. I think it was June in Milan.
It was June
Milan
in
Part
Milan.
2.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we had to wait those, because the 2 years of waiting, they had plans to move the competition depending on how restrictions and whatever. So they said Warsaw, then they said Taipei, then they said something else. I don't remember. And then it was Milan. So we finally have a date and we go, we're ready for this. No problem. We've been training this whole time. But I don't remember what happened. Dave had to go somewhere, so it was me and Cole for a little bit. And then we went to Milan. Super nervous. I think if Cole didn't get those wins and we went backstage for those world tours, it would have been a lot different for me in Milan.
Just not being familiar with the backstage, you mean?
Yeah, because it's like the nerves, and then you see, I've been following this guy on Instagram for 5 years, and he's in front of me now. It's like,
Right.
if you guys remember my first time in the back, I was just starstruck by everybody.
Yeah.
So that was a good experience.
That's how Dave and I feel when we walk into the office and you're sitting at your desk. We just
we're starstruck when we see you every day at work.
Starstruck every day.
Yeah, it was a lot different because then I knew what we had to accomplish and how to handle like those situations, because it's a lot. Getting back there, it's a lot.
Do you remember the feeling you had the first time going back there? Would have been 2019, and you would have been there
In Boston,
supporting
yeah.
in Boston. Do you remember the feeling you had then versus the feeling you had walking in as the competitor in 2021?
I mean, I was scared both times. Still scared, to be honest. But the difference was just the like you've seen it before, so you know what to expect, rather than like I'm experiencing this starstruckness for the first time over and over. Like sometimes I still get that,
Mm.
but it's just a lot to take in. Like I guess it's like meeting a celebrity, right? Because these guys for me were superstars, and now I'm in front of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever consider that they're just normal people too?
Well, yes. Now that I realize they're just mere mortals, like the
Right.
rest of us. But back in those days, no way.
I asked the question just to remind anybody that would be listening to this that they are just normal people too, and the difference might just be that they're further down the path that you're walking.
Not all of us, though. Some of us, Cole.
Just mere mortals, Nelson. So you compete in 2021. Tell us about that experience. You're there as the Canadian National Coffee and Good Spirits Champion. Are you a big cocktail guy, Nelson?
I'm a huge cocktail guy.
Yeah, you like the atmosphere of cocktail bars, or you like the beverages, or what are you
I think
into in
it's the
cocktails?
same like mystical thing I thought about coffee. I think about cocktail bars.
Okay.
Like it's cool, but am I cool enough to do this? So I love research and I love understanding cultures and understanding why. I get why people love cocktails. When you get the right one, it's literally magic, alchemy, if you will. Just get like the flavor profiles and like holy. But a lot of it is experience. I think you would agree. For like most cocktails are just like whatever, and what adds on to it is the experience. For most cocktails. So I'm a
Okay.
big cocktail enjoyer. I learned everything I need to know in a month leading up to nationals, and then I was able to learn even more after nationals for 2 years. So I was ready. We had a lot of opportunity to share the drinks as well before and after we got to Milan. So luckily we had regional qualifiers in Calgary that year, and we got to get all the judges and people just traveling to Calgary to come taste the drinks and give us their thoughts and opinions.
Oh,
And
this is regionals for barista is happening.
in Calgary, yes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we just got smoked for 4 days. I don't know if you weren't there. It was just me and Dave, but we're getting feedback all over the place. And we're thinking, oh shit, this is not going to be good when we get to Milan. But we took the feedback, tried to incorporate as much as we could. I don't know if we incorporated too much because it was pretty locked. It was 1 month away. We got to Milan early, got some practice time. Again, lots of people came to give us feedback. And at that point, we weren't really incorporating feedback. It was just maybe minor things. But like if someone had a good opinion, we would consider it better if we like resonated with their feedback. Is more confirming our biases than anything, to be honest. So first, I was super nervous the first day, but everyone said that I was not. I don't even remember what happened, but we didn't have a kettle on the cart for a setup for a spirit bar. And nobody noticed except for me. Even during the presentation, nobody noticed. It was awesome. And then I told you guys afterwards.
What was the solution? What did you do without a kettle?
There was a kettle for Spirit Bar. It's kind of a weird setup. I don't know if, and a lot of people know what Spirit Bar is, but
Maybe give the 30 second.
there is a liquor sponsor, and they'll give a range of liquors, syrups, and you have to use that ingredient at least 10 mils in your drinks, or you get a 0. But the cool part is you roll a dice, and whatever it lands on, you have to use that liquor. And then the syrups were up to you, but you had to use at least one. You could mix, you can do whatever, but you had to use that. And then I think you get 5 minutes. I don't remember now. 7 minutes to present 2 drinks on the spot with that liquor. So I didn't have a kettle, and there was a kettle available at the station because the Spirit Bar uses the community, like where during the regular event they would have volunteers brewing coffee for everybody else. So I borrowed that kettle at the station, and I got medium hot water. I don't think it was completely boiled. And then the feedback was the drinks were too sweet because the coffee wasn't extracted. So there you go.
What was the beverage you made?
I rolled. What did I roll? I think I rolled Campari, or the red one, a bitter vermouth, and we made essentially a coffee cola. That's my life's work, actually. I was trying to make coffee cola.
Good. That was super good.
That was very good, yeah.
Ever since I started, I've been trying to make coffee cola. So it was like a 5-year process on coffee cola. So I was very happy with that drink. Yeah.
And that drink got you into the finals, did it not?
Got into the finals, that's right.
It was the nudge into the finals. I think what you did there in terms of taking all of the spirits that were possible to roll and creating one beverage that you could essentially swap the spirit out of, but still have a really tasty beverage. I think that was if anybody's listening and taking notes on competition type of strategy, that's a really nice strategy for something such as Spirit Bar.
Yeah, that was a tough competition because it boils down to 6 from 30.
Right.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Right.
But then everyone was like, "Oh, you're so cool on stage, calm, collected." Meanwhile, I'm sweating through my shirt. I don't know where I am. I don't have a kettle. So that really helped on day 2, where I just got up there and it was business as usual, I would say.
And run us through day 2. Run us through the results. Give us the play-by-play of
day 2. I black out on stage. I don't know if I told you this. I usually don't remember anything that happens on stage. But because of our practice, it doesn't come off that way. It's all muscle memory. I know where eventually I'll come back like 2 minutes into the presentation. I'll clue in. I'll be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. And then the practice takes over, no problem. How'd I get here? But like that is the important part of practice. If you ever freeze, which I do, practice will take over, no problem. So we served our hot drink, served the cold drink. I know you've ordered that for 4 years. I'm never delivering it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for one of these cocktails ever since that day, and they've just never ever been made again. Big cocktail guy.
Big cocktail guy. Yeah. Second day went great. Got to finals. And then, so we didn't actually finalize the Irish coffee until that night. If you remember, we stayed up a little bit figuring out the script because we didn't really plan on being there. Like we did because we had the coffee and the alcohol, but we didn't plan on being there. And then finals day, 37 seconds overtime, still doing that. Got fourth.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. When you say we didn't plan on being there, it's more in the vein that you were the underdog going in. We don't really know cocktails. None of us have experience in that sort of segment. And
Yeah. We were like hoping to be there, right?
you were well trained. We were all excited, but it was not like we should be in this final.
Yeah. We willed our way there.
We willed our way there. Hard
Yeah.
work and dedication, people. Hard work and dedication.
Yeah.
So Nelson, you got fourth in the world. What are like 3, I don't know, training points that you could give someone who's wanting to compete? 3 pieces of advice.
You got to practice. I don't know. I don't know how much more we can say this, but the practice, you got to do it, but you got to do it perfect. You can't practice half. You can't practice piece by piece. You just got to do it, and it's painful. I know. Trust me, I know. It's a painful process. And in not just practice, you got to watch yourself. You got to do the recording. This is the most painful part, I think, is watching yourself perform. And those two things, you can really tell if you practice the full way and the better way to practice, or you're just practicing to practice. All right?
Give me a third. Come on. What's one more?
Third. I think trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Okay.
Because
are we drafting our fantasy basketball team?
Yeah, trust the process, bro.
if you don't believe the practice will help, then don't do it. I don't know. Don't do this. Because if you don't, I don't think anyone will be willing to admit that practice did not get them to that spot. There's no way.
Right.
I don't think if it was just based on coffee, sure, but with the presentation aspect, no way. So if you don't believe in yourself,
what do you think you gain per session, like per doing a run? You think it's a 1% increment of improvement per set that you run as you practice for a competition, or how substantial do you think that is?
I would say I hope not, unless you're 2 weeks out. Then yeah, 1% is great. But if you're practicing, like miming your coffee, at least get the shot times in. Like the amount of times we've practiced and the shot times were just wrong, it's not helpful with timings and what you need to do. And I think that's one of the reasons why I went over time, right? We never really practiced properly with that Irish coffee. But also I had to get that joke out there. Which, by the way, only 2 people have ever commented on ever about the joke, and one person got it. And it was Cole.
Was I one of them?
Yeah, so that year, Cole took me to Colombia. It was sick. We went to Cali, Colombia. And as fans of rap music, Cole and I would just sing back to Cali.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just all the time, especially in Colombia and back home. So then writing the script, we thought it would be, since Dave wasn't here, so it was just me and Cole, and we're like, yeah, we should write this into the script.
This will be a hit. People will love this.
People will love this joke.
Yeah, 2 people got it. And you're the 2.
Yeah. So on stage, we do say back to Cali. Best drink we've ever made. I think that's the highest scoring drink I've ever made.
Oh, really?
That drink was dynamite. I remember how incredibly good that drink was.
Yeah.
The warm beverage.
The SL34.
Can we put the recipe in the
sure.
comments down
We'll
below?
link the YouTube video. That's The instructions are in there.
There we go.
You can
We'll
watch
get
me
our, we'll
make
get our
it.
tech guide. We'll drop a link in the comments below.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you can just watch the whole thing unfold. It's been recorded. And you can get the joke. Get the joke in
Coffee and
there.
Good Spirits, it's such an interesting competition because you do 3 presentations, right? You did Spirit Bar. So it's a
Yeah, it's almost
roll.
like 7, right?
It's a roll the dice. You don't know what you're going to get, but you need to be prepared for each of those. Then you do first round, and it's hot and cold designer beverages. And then if you get through the first round, you have to do the final, which is hot or cold, one or the other, plus Irish coffee. And
And there's
yeah,
also a
frankly,
sponsored component if there's a sponsor that year.
yeah, that's right. And you had, I think, gin.
Yeah, you had to use gin, doesn't matter what, but your drinks had to include gin. And then there was a sponsored whiskey that you had to use 10 mils.
That's right. That's right.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, Tullamore Dew.
A little more do.
Good thing they got that sponsorship. They just got the shout out on the By the Drip podcast.
Let's go,
It's paying
baby.
off for them.
So, yeah, the cool thing about this competition is everyone thinks it's, oh yeah, cocktails and coffee, no problem, easy. But then other competitors, not just in Coffee and Good Spirits, but other competitions, a lot of them just want to do it because they think it's the most challenging ever competition. Because you get full creativity, but there's like those sponsored things you have to do. So I feel like old barista competitors, they get drawn to SIGs,
Yeah.
especially
Definitely.
myself.
Right. No, it makes sense. It also works on a different discipline altogether. And generally
Yeah.
speaking, people who like coffee also often like
Like
cocktails. Dave and I have been meaning to talk to somebody publicly about our recent disdain for cocktails because they're always far too sweet and they're always overhyped and they're out of balance. And Dave and I have had some honestly bad experience in the last sort of 6 to 8 months with cocktail bars around the world, and we at a certain point actually
Tough
vetoed
life,
them.
buddy. Tough life.
tough.
We would not go to cocktail bars because we knew that the $18 to $26 purchase price was not going to be justified in the quality of the beverage.
You can always come back to Rosso.
And I thought I'd get that out there. I thought I'd let somebody know on the
thank
air.
goodness
Thanks,
we got
guys.
that out there.
Thanks for listening.
Leave your review.
Yeah, leave your review here. No, I think it just lays into Nelson commenting about the mystical place that a cocktail bar is. Maybe the mystique is disappearing. Can you actually speak to that a little bit, Nelson? You commented earlier you thought cafes used to be this cool mystical place, and that's kind of
I think it still
disappeared
is.
in recent years. Is it still a mystical place?
It's
Yeah.
some of them aren't as mystical, but like when I first started drinking coffee, I was intimidated to go get a coffee, like ordering wrong or looking like a fool, you know? So,
But that made it a mystical place, or it was mystical because you didn't know what you were doing?
yeah, the mystical was that element, but also like everyone's doing this. Why am I not doing it? You know?
Okay.
It's hard to explain the mystical part. I think I saw it in a different, like, whatever. Maybe from movies and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, drinking espresso was for cool guys in Europe. I don't know. That's kind of the mystical part. But yeah, back in those days, it was very different, right? Very, very different.
What, in 2015? You're saying it's very different?
Back in like early 2000s, like espresso wasn't a thing. I guess it was, but it was more lattes and
It still existed then too, Nelson.
yeah, well, it wasn't as popular for like a normal person.
No,
Right.
but it's still not popular with a normal person.
Yeah, stuff like that. I don't know how to explain it. Someone better will understand me and then explain it in the comments below.
Nice.
No, I think I get what you're saying. It's like the coffee shop had all this sort of charm, and you were
Yeah.
fascinated to go and explore them. And I think I was too, as a young barista, young coffee person. And I'm still interested to explore them, but it's that interest has gone down substantially. I think there's too much. I think what has happened is there's too much of a copy paste sort of model that's occurred, that most of them seem or feel or taste the same, that it's less fascinating to go and explore.
Yeah.
I think it's also are you looking for innovation? And I think we cross that in quite a bit with what's new and exciting. And I think, 2005 to whatever, 2015, there was a lot of that going on. And now it's harder to reiterate on that. Things are a little more challenging, just like Barista Comp. It's been going on 25 years. It's going to be hard and harder to come up with something that's cutting edge or innovative. And so some people think that it's kind of, it's moving into a certain direction and people dislike or like that. And I think cafes are the same kind of way.
On that note, should we zoom back into barista competition and chat about the experience in Busan?
We still have another year to go until we get to Busan. What happened? We went to Vancouver and got second. That was a good year. Thought we would get all the way.
That was 2022. Three.
Yeah. Or was it 2? 2. Yeah? No. 3. Doesn't matter. But Boram was here. It was sick. So
Yeah.
it would have been cool to win with Boram here. Fortunately, couldn't get it done. Sorry, Boram. Went all the way to Canada to train yourself, I guess.
He did your dishes. That was good.
Yeah, that was sick.
What was your presentation about? You used 2 different coffees. One was Geisha Village. One was
Sidra.
Okay.
So the presentation was around complexity. And that's a pretty vague thing in our industry. It could mean anything. So we narrowed into complexity, not just from the cup, but also the actual varietals. So back to what we were saying earlier, we sometimes have no idea what these varietals are. And that year they happened to do that research paper saying Sidra is actually heirloom or landrace.
Right. Yeah, landrace.
So then we incorporated that into the presentation and made it kind of cool. It's kind of like, I didn't know. And I'm on stage. So there you go. That was a good presentation. Yeah.
I remember that presentation. I really liked that presentation.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that was a really good presentation. Okay, and then 2023, you had a mishap. Maybe we don't want to talk about 23.
Yeah, 23 is...
we're talking about it now. We're talking about it now.
Well, I didn't make finals. We squeezed through into nationals and didn't make finals. That's a lesson to be learned here. You can't let your foot off the gas. Because we thought...
Was that the reason, is you didn't practice?
I wouldn't say we didn't practice, but the intentional practice was probably missing. I think I'm still recovering from that second place. Second place is tough, guys. Yeah. It's almost like an impossible barrier. You work so hard, get second, you thought you would do it. I think still recovering from that mentally. I don't think I was as ready, both physically and mentally that year, for sure. I think I was still reaching for lines up 1 month out. And that's not normal for us at all. And I don't think I believed in the concept as much as I normally would. Because I think we did try something different that year, as like way different than the previous year. Because if that couldn't do it, it's time to try other things.
Right.
And then we went more science-y, and that just didn't come across and connected with anybody. But great coffee. That was kind of cool. And then Cole took that idea and did layers.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because
Something like
you
that.
blended in
We
the
layered in the
portafilter.
basket. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did
Right.
both. There was a layer for espresso and blend for milk. And then one shot of each for the SIG. So if we polished it enough, I think we could have got it across, but we didn't.
Right.
Yeah. Heading into the next season, we have Dave and Cole on the road for 8 to 12 months. So this one was a lot more different in the preparation side, obviously. We would do videos. As I ended my work day, you guys would be waking up. So we did a lot of internet calls. Thank God for internet. And then that is just way different than what I'm used to. So the feedback was either delayed or just not helpful because we've already moved on to something else. So then this year I had to take more of the, I guess, more command over the entire process. And it worked out quite nicely. Not bad.
I think you started training much earlier, yeah?
Yeah, I practically or essentially started the 2 days after Nationals 2023. I was very upset. Yeah.
So you used the kind of poor placement the year before as fuel to drive you to train, organize.
Yeah.
And then obviously Boram was here. I remember you reflecting a little bit saying, watching him train for WBC and you being around that gave you, I guess, a different insight into.
Yeah. It's just like, this is the amount of work you need to do if you want this. So I did it. I did the work. Maybe not as many runs as Boram, but nobody can do that many runs. Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, there's no way.
So you won Canada. We all fly over to Korea. And you were on that private jet because of winning.
Yeah, the private jet. It was nice.
Is it row 56, right beside the washroom?
Right in the middle.
Back row.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, middle seat.
Middle seat, middle plane.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right.
So heading over, you're going to your first WBC.
Yeah.
Are you feeling excited, nervous? What's going through your mind?
Getting to Korea, I was kind of nervous, but I had this really fun 15-hour flight, and it really settled me in for the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
Really fun 15-hour flight. Not often do those words all get compiled together.
Yeah, I was kind of losing my mind. I don't know how anyone does that normally. You guys could probably explain it. But the 15-hour flight was tough, but it gave me a lot of time to just think, what am I doing here? What am I doing here on this 15-hour flight? How did I get to this situation? And self-reflection time is very valuable, guys. You need to do more of that. And especially when you're forced to do it on a 15-hour flight. But like once I landed, we were ready to go. We started training the next day, right?
Yeah.
I landed, 9 p.m. We went for dinner and then right into it.
Yeah,
Mindset.
that sounds about right.
Powerful mind is a great tool. Yeah,
and how was it being up on stage at WBC, what did that moment feel like? You've worked, I guess, 8 years to get there. That's, the big show in our industry.
Yeah. At first, it was terrifying, to be honest. After the setup, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Finish the setup. I think we stand around for maybe 30 seconds. Judges come out. Maybe not even 30, like maybe 10 seconds. Judges come out, and I go, okay, how do I start this? There's not very many instructions, and you're kind of just like, oh my God, I'm here. Because I think that's when the first time I turned around to actually look at the stage. Because I'm head down, setting up my things, or my books in the right spot. And that 10 seconds, I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. So I think I was a little shaky in the first minute, and then we recovered. Thanks to the practice, guys. Very important. But yeah, I found the pacing after that minute, and then it felt very natural, and it was a lot of fun. I think most people in my position would be quite disappointed with the placement, myself included, but I got my message out. I think I performed the set I wanted to do, and I got the message I wanted to say. And that's all you can really do at Worlds. So,
And if someone hasn't seen the set, what would the message be?
It's a mix, but it's just like, these are the tools we use to tell our stories, and why coffee is so cool, basically. Or these are the tools I use to tell my story, essentially.
So it's a storybook, actual physical tools.
Yeah. What's the last one again?
I don't even remember.
Community. The whole thing is about storytelling and community.
And like how those tools connect our community, and essentially telling
Nelson, you're a big community guy now, right?
Huge community guy. I go to every event, every single one.
AeroPress tomorrow, 2 days from now.
2 days from now. But I've been doing this the whole career. I go to every event. If there's a latte throwdown, I'm there. And yeah, every single event, signed up for or not. But back in those days, it was like, oh, you're doing a tasting? Yeah, I'll go for sure. And still now, you're doing a tasting? Oh yeah, I'll be there. There's just something about our community that just brings you in, even on your days off, even if you don't want to go. You're like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this guy in a while. Maybe I will go. Right?
Big community guy.
Huge community guy.
So you brought that experience to Worlds.
Yeah.
What coffee did you use this time?
Black Moon Chorizo or Chorizo, depending on the barista.
Where you are in the world.
Yeah.
Black Moon Chorizo.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it the same lot that won Best of Panama?
No.
Let me ask my coffee buyer. Hey, Cole.
No. Different lot. I think very similar. Like that coffee was dynamite.
It was
that coffee was definitely so good.
Definitely one of my favorite coffees that I've had, in the mix of espresso, milk beverage, and then your signature drink was also very delicious. But your milk beverage specifically, I remember that just being an absolute slapper, like in terms of delicious, with was it evaporated milk and rice milk?
That's right.
Yeah.
Shelf-stable milks.
It was super good. And a super unique profile.
Tasted like caramel apple that you would get at
like the fresh apple really is the game changer, I think.
Yeah, very
caramel
very
apple. Yeah. Cool. Let's get more of that
So
coffee.
let's get more of that coffee. We're in conversations right now to get more of it. We're sold out at the moment, but we'll get some more. So you finished Korea. That's the most recent competition you've participated in. That's probably 3-4 months ago as we record this. Now what, Nelson? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? Are you training for your next competition? Or are you
So that's part of my secret training regimen. I'm always
okay?
training.
Okay.
I always have ideas going on. You're usually the victim of my ideas.
Yeah, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not.
But I'm just always thinking about this stuff, and it's no longer just about winning. I think my first year, that's all I cared about. But then after that, I never thought about the win. But that kind of mindset is also very beneficial if you're going to be doing this for a long time.
Right.
It's like managing your expectations, but it's not always about the win. It's nice, sure.
Yeah.
I've been on
What
both
is it about?
sides. For me, it's a lot about just personal growth, but I've also discovered like the connections you can make through coffee. Like a lot of people I talk to these days, I wouldn't ever talk to them ever in my life if it weren't for coffee. So,
Is
like
that a
Cole, for
good thing or a
example,
bad thing? I just want to
Like
clarify.
us, you would never talk to
I would
us.
never talk to you guys, which might be a good thing and bad thing.
Probably.
But more so on the good side, I would say. Like it's our coffee world's so small, but now anywhere we travel to, there's someone we know, which is kind of cool. But old me, not a chance. Yeah.
Right. You have opportunity to meet or connect with people in all different areas of the world.
Yeah.
So that's why you do it today. Why else do you do it?
These days, I use it more. I discovered this fairly early into the competition scene, but I discovered that I could make 4 people listen to me for 15 minutes and they can't leave. They have to listen to me.
That's very true.
But that's you can use that platform to share your ideas, and there's no better way. If you have a great idea, it's getting out there. Like usually we would have to, like, these ideas I force you to taste is like they're never getting out there unless you talk about it, which I won't because some of them are awful. Really, the only way our industry grows is through these ideas. Like we can just be copying each other till the end of time, and we've done that. We have the latte to thank. I guess you're not improving on that drink, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it's like the greatest platform for speaking of innovation
Yeah,
within
or
the
like
industry, right?
even contributing to an industry is outside of coffee. How else would someone contribute to their industry,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you're so passionate about it. Like competition is amazing for us for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and to bring a different lens or perspective. Like I remember after you competed in Busan, just the number of people that came up to us or each of us individually and said, "Hey, Nelson, just the way he delivered that, the way he showcased his story, which is what it was all about, the pop-up book, just you made it so simple that it was so complex for people. They could easily sort of digest all of that. And I don't know, maybe there's a cafe somewhere in the world now that uses a pop-up book
That
to
would be so cool. Invite me
communicate. Wouldn't that be neat?
if that's how you're running your cafe. I'm coming down.
We're back to mystical cafes. We're back to mystical
There's
cafes.
finally one
on
brand.
that one.
Exactly. Yeah, we need more of those pop-up books.
So what happens next, Nelson?
Next, I think we're back
Yeah,
in.
what are you doing today?
Yeah, what are you working
doing
on
this
here,
week?
buddy?
What are you working
What's
on?
the next year look like for you?
Next year for me, well, I got some cool ideas cooking. I don't think I'm done with competition yet. I still have more things to say, unfortunately, for everyone else. You're going to have to listen to me. I bought those 15 minutes. But maybe I'll try a different discipline. I mean, I've competed in everything except for brewers. So there you go.
Oh, is this
I have some ideas, guys, and I'm going to
is
need
this
some
an
coffee.
announcement right here, right now? To Nelson's competing in brewers. Is that an announcement?
No, that's too intimidating. Unless that's what we're
Nelson,
trying to do.
we need like some heavy clickbait. We can run across the title of this.
Oh my God, he's competing.
Yeah, that's the reaction.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do brewers quite a bit, but the timing has never worked out. But now we have such a long break. I think the timing will work out. And watch out, everybody. I have some ideas.
All right.
And I have some coffee, too. But yeah, a lot of the things on my radar, I think I want to share more coffee with the world. So we'll figure that out somehow. Because usually you get the 4 judges and that's all you get to serve. Yeah.
I see.
So
You want to make more coffee for people. Get back behind the bar.
get back to the roots. That's right.
Yeah.
Ramsey's actually hiring right now, so
I think they only need
needs-
dishwashers.
the store actually, you could go close it. You got about an hour to just close it up, and
Oh, perfect. I'll be on my way.
okay.
What would be your dream situation if you could serve
Dream situation, like
serve coffee the way you just described? Like get back to the roots. What would that look like if you could paint a picture?
No, well, who are the 4 people that you're going to serve coffee to? Who's on your list?
the dream blunt rotation.
Obviously, Dave, you and I are 1 and 2.
No, we're doing the dishes.
We're not even. Yeah, we're gonna get bounced by security at that cafe.
You guys got served already, okay?
Yeah, we've already been served.
Next in line. I don't know.
No, you don't have a list, Nelson? I thought you would have a list written, ready to
Like
go.
people I want to share coffee with? Not really.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's someone I would want to. Oh yeah, you have to try my coffee. This is gonna change everything. No. I would like to serve the finals panel. That'd be sick.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
How
your
about
answer.
the
That should be your answer.
finals panel in Milan? That'd be cool. That's the dream situation there.
There you
That'd
go.
be cool.
Okay,
But also
boys, let's wrap this up. We got Cole. You got any other hard-hitting questions?
What do you spend your day to day doing? Tell us a quick 2 minutes about your day job and how much you love it. We've heard you really love it, and
Love it. I do the e-com for Rosso Coffee Roasters. So if you go to rossocoffeeroasters.com right now, you would be able to purchase any amount of coffee, and we will ship worldwide.
wow.
Do you want to use a coupon code, Nelson?
There's no coupon code. There's
We can create one. You can create one for us.
Look, if you sign up for the newsletter, we'll give you 20% off your first purchase.
Okay, and what about returning customers?
Returning customers, we thank you for your patronage. Please continue buying Rosso coffee.
Just nothing, eh?
Look, we already
Nothing
got
for
them.
the long-term
We got them on the
customer.
hook already. We don't need to incentivize these customers.
Okay. Use Nelson 10 to save 10% off.
If I go to the website right now, Nelson, and I check out rossocoffeeroasters.com, what should I get? Give me two bags I got to put in my cart.
2 bags you have to put in your cart.
Have to. No
I think
budget.
you have to do Turning Point. It's our best seller.
Okay.
And that is for good reason. It is just a comfortable coffee any time of day. You just need a big cup, small cup, whatever.
Makes a great cup.
Makes a great cup. It works on espresso. It works on your filter. It'll work in your French press. Do whatever. It will work.
Okay.
Guaranteed. And
Love it. That's one. What's the other bag I should put in my cart?
the other bag you should put in your cart is a 5 pound of Turning Point. No, you should definitely check out our limited release series category. It's all the coffees that Cole likes to drink, and we've made it available for you to purchase. It's also coffees I like to
What's on
drink.
that list? Hit me with what's on that list. Come on, Nelson.
Oh, you couldn't even imagine this list.
I wouldn't even know.
You can't find this list anywhere else in the world.
Oh, damn.
Guaranteed. Because we have the
Doesn't
coffee.
miss.
So you can find crowd favorites like Geisha Village, Jansen, Longboard, some heavy hitters. We got
Put some Lost Origin on there.
Yeah, some more of the up-and-coming coffee farms. Lost Origin, Black Moon. We got it all. If you want it, we will sell it to you.
All right. I'm sold.
And don't forget,
I'm sold
getting
too.
my credit
getting
card
that 5
right
pound
now.
bag
I'm
of
on
Turning
my
Point.
way to the website
Get
for a
the
5 bag of Turning Point.
5 pound
You
bag
won't
of Turning
regret
Point.
it. You won't regret 5 pounds of Turning Point.
Oh wow! Somebody just knocked at the door. My delivery's already here. Are you kidding me?
Wow,
Delivery is
24
that
hours
quick?
service. Unbelievable.
Look, this marketing, it's more of a marketing role, but you guys seem to know what marketing is all about.
Yeah. We're selling right now.
Yeah. We should make you a discount code.
Nelson 10. We're gonna talk to
We'll
the guy who
put
runs
it
the
in the
website.
comments down below. There's a discount code coming up, people. If you got this far into this episode, we appreciate you. We'll give you a discount
we can't believe you
for
made
that
it this
5
far.
pound bag of Turning Point.
Yeah. You can use Dave 10 for 10% off, but if you use Cole 10, we'll add 10% to your bill.
Add 10%. Nice. You're a powerful man, Nelson. Nelson, where can people go to find you online? Do you want them to find you online, or you want to remain the international man of mystery?
I don't really want to be found online, to be honest.
Okay.
I just have the Instagram. That's about it. I don't like, I can barely manage that one. I can't imagine going on the other platforms.
Okay, so where can somebody find you on Instagram?
I am
Put a little
currently
thing
that.
somewhere up
Yeah,
here.
just do the click right here, or you can search up That Fellow Nello. Or you can follow us at Rosso Coffee Roasters, and you can see what we're up to on there.
Cool.
Nice.
New releases every month.
We're ready.
We are ready.
I hope so.
Yeah.
For the sales.
That's it. That's it. That's all we got.
Nelson, thanks for sharing your journey, buddy. You've
You're welcome.
got a very admirable journey. We're proud of you. Seeing it from day one, Pokemon trainer, Pokemon Go, all the way to World Barista Championship stage, World Coffee and Good Spirits. 3 different champions. We think you're the only one in Canada that's got 3 different championship disciplines.
That's right.
No, Nelson, your story, I think from a competing angle is, it's very inspiring. Like, I think a lot of people want the quick fix, and you've kind of showed determination and getting up there and competing in a bunch of different disciplines. Like, it will pay off. It just takes time and getting reps under, and you being a 3-time champion in Canada is like, that's a really big deal. And us working with you, we love working with you. You're a source of fun. Okay, Cole's shaking his head, but no, we love working with you. You're an amazing coffee professional, and we're excited to see your next round of competitions here.
My favorite part of working with Nelson is anytime I go to use the grinder in our sort of main brewing area, he knows my mannerisms on the grinder and how many times I'll knock. I'm actually not sure what audible noise it is for him, but every time I use the grinder, all of a sudden he pokes out from the office and sort of wanders out, and I got to chop 20% of my brew into Nelson's cup all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't go the other way.
I only make small brews. I don't know how to do the Fetco cold brew.
We like the big brews.
Yeah, we need the big brew, 25 grams. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, Nelson, thanks so much for being on the podcast, chatting with Dave and I. We appreciate working with you and all that you do for Rosso and for coffee, buddy.